No, wait there. Oh, well, mics are on it.
Oh, and our heads are cut off.
Wow, okay.
Jaws is so short.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and tilt the camera up. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
Jaws
do it.
is-
I'll tell
Jaws
you.
is
I'll tell you
tiny.
what the correct
Jaws is
distance
tiny.
is. I'll tell you what the correct distance is. Go, go, go. Tilt it up. Okay. Yep. Okay. Whoa, whoa. Hey. You just sent us flying. Flying in the air.
Yeah,
But,
we went right into the sky.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Overwatch World Cup 2019. And we have a banger of a match of the Group B. This is the last game, I believe, to be played between the Netherlands and the Russian Federation. And it is for all the marbles. I kid you not. This is the most important match, I think, that is currently on display.
Yes.
Out of any of the games that we see right now.
In terms of the standings, I mean, I don't blame you for going and watch USA South Korea, but this one literally decides who gets into the playoffs tomorrow and who goes home.
That's right.
This is a must-win for both teams.
And now we head to Nepal. It's going to be the village section. This is the classic May map, if you will. Shadowburn, Facility. They're playing the roles respectively. We're going to see what they have to offer. As you can see, the players will start to roll out here. The Netherlands onto the high ground. Working a bit of poke damage into the Russian Federation. Trying to find a bit of weakness, poking, prodding. The Holt's going to come out now, and it's a clash between the two teams. The shields are laid down. Kinetic grasp from Brusen.
But he gets frozen.
Not good enough, and immediately taken out. But it's going to be a trade from Dan. And we see now the coalescence built up very, very quickly here from Tri-Spear.
Yeah, that's
Tri-Spear.
wonderful. Honestly, it's that coalescence that changed the entire fight, though. Because when Brusen was frozen up by Shadowburn, they managed to find the pick, and then Facility froze Enleia. So it all comes down to these Mays. And that, in my opinion, is the most important thing to keep your eye on, is how they combo with Holtz and how they push past shields. Because when they're playing this May Reaper composition at the bottom of Nepal Village, it often comes down to who literally gets frozen. They're not so much trying to isolate and pick off kills with the Reaper, though that's certainly a good strat, but there's so much sustain still on the board that being frozen is the death sentence.
Netherlands still able to come out clutch, and they are defending the point right now. Brusen, this guy has
Nice
been
shield.
a key player for the Netherlands. Key reason for their success, but both these teams going to be hunting right now for the victory. As you see Main coming in with the coalescence. Hosing down absolutely everyone. The gravitic flux as well. A10 comes into the back line. The Death Blossom is enough. And it's going to be a clean sweep now. The Russian Federation completely sent packing. And we see the Netherlands once again defending, and they have ults once more to use.
That was such an important fight for the Netherlands to win. Chow was about to use his gravitic flux, and instead, perfectly timed Death Blossom from A10. The Netherlands can now defend with a range of ultimates. Double support ult available, whereas no coalescence for Russia. And of course this Blizzard, which is going to do huge damage.
The Blizzard comes out. It's going to attempt to freeze up a couple of these members of the team. Brusen in the backline is being pressured very, very heavily, but luckily the team is there to start to peel for him, and he does survive the encounter.
And got
again,
frozen.
Another fantastic team fight has been won here for Netherlands. Now let's follow this, because this is what Brusen has been so good at.
And yet.
In that time, again, heavy artillery, aiming for the house.
Yep. He's just trying to make sure that he bombs the civilians of Nepal Village with his rocks.
Netherlands now. Opportunity to defend this away from Russia. Russia rushing in. A lot of ultimates at their disposal. You can see Enleia now has the Death Blossom. We see the Blizzard as well to try and set this one up. It's going to be freezing a few of them. Great accretion is going to knock Enleia back.
They commit the sound barrier to both sides, but Russia have already lost two.
A Facility is going to end up falling now to the Death Blossom, but the Netherlands are absolutely striking back.
Huge, enormous gravitic flux from Brusen exactly when it was required. Both teams traded the sound barriers, and when Engs wore off, Brusen was there. For my money, a lot of people have been talking about Facility, but Brusen has just been stellar every time we've watched him.
He really has. I mean, the guy, he must know it as well. Throughout this entire tournament thus far, he has been, in my eyes, the star player for the Netherlands in terms of setting them up. He has an understanding of Sigma that seems to be lacking on a lot of the other teams, at least in the preliminary rounds. Now, there are players to try and compete with him.
Yeah.
In particular, Chow as well. You can see him on the Russian squad on the other side here. But the Netherlands are one round up in a very, very important series. Can't stress this enough. The winner of this set will be moving on to the next set of games tomorrow.
Both teams probably going to go with a Reaper Doomfist composition. It's a little bit better on this section of Nepal. Shadowburn's been a star player for Russia throughout this tournament. And that Doomfist was crazy when we watched it this morning.
Well, Brewster now looking for opportunities to try and strike back. You can see the rotations being made by either team. Facility with the initiation here onto Shadowburn. Takes him out. The Seismic Slam does so much damage as well. Sets his team up for a very, very nice, clean team fight.
Shadowburn went for a punch there at the same time as the halt, but that's a little too predictable. Facility was charging up his rocket punch, waited for Shadowburn to go in, and then just clapped back. Punch straight to the fist of Shadowburn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would mean that they collide and stun.
I mean, he could have had his fist on a sideward angles, in which case, you know, he would have received the brunt
Absolutely.
force.
That's exactly what happened, Brent. Thank you.
Sure. Just be close to this Coalescence now. Stuns all over the bloody shop. As you can see, the Seismic Slam. Facility has the Meteor Strike, but he does not need it. It's going to be the Coalescence. It's going to be cleaning down. Russia, once again, wipes them out. Not even an opportunity to try and take that fight there.
And Russia are taking fights before they have ultimates available. Why would you want to push there with main at 95%? Wait for your Coalescence, have it to answer Tri-Spear, and then at least make the fight competitive. You can't allow the Netherlands to just win on one Coalescence.
Seconds being wasted there. Not ideal.
Main now, though, has this Coalescence, but Facility's looking for a push. If he can find this Meteor Strike and combo it with a halt,
Facility is spotted.
Good.
Seismic Slam, the Meteor Strike is going to take him.
9
HP. Why would he push with 9 HP? I'm not too sure, but the uppercut is going to send a couple of the players of Russia flying, and this is their opportunity to strike back, but the sound barrier now comes out from the Netherlands, and A10 comes up big once more. 4 kills with the Death Blossom. He's going to be pleased with that one, and Netherlands win another critical team fight.
And because Russia have been wiped all the time here, the Netherlands are just gaining their ults faster. Dans, again, we were talking about the difference in Coalescence charge in the previous fight, but Dans had his Supercharger there with Tonic still miles away. And the Supercharger combined with the Death Blossom is just way too much damage. The Netherlands are just going to push again.
Yeah, Coalescence available, so why not? They're playing aggressive with it.
Sound barrier and Egg dies!
And there we have it. That might be the decisive factor here. Russia without the sound barrier, they can't continue this fight, and they are dropping like flies. The Supercharger is next, and as the overtime ticks down, Netherlands look to be moving ever so closer forwards to the next round of games tomorrow by taking map number 1.
It's been hard fought, but it really wasn't close enough. The Russian Federation is still trickling in players, but Netherlands have come out swinging here. They do not want to go home yet. They had to come out of the preliminaries. They have a talent-stacked roster, but it's not quite got the same name value of Russia. But they are making them pay so far. They take Village and the entirety of Nepal.
That is phenomenal. Coming out there from the Netherlands. Now, I just want to hone this back, actually, to something that Russia told me as an individual. I asked Team Russia, I said, what is the team that's going to be the dark horse for this entire tournament? And the number 1 team that they all consistently agreed with was the Netherlands as a team.
Yep. The Team UK said the exact same thing. They said of their European scrim partners, the Netherlands was the team that pushed them the furthest.
Yeah. These teams, they know each other very intimately because they've had practice with one another quite consistently. And you can see the Netherlands coming out on top here, and minor adjustments that they make during the match are really assisting them. And I got to say, Russia, it feels like they are kind of faltering at certain moments. There's opportunities for them to push. You know, we think back to a couple of the mistakes that they made. Why make a push when they had no ultimates online and they were very close to building them? You just gave them 20% of the ult charge.
Exactly, and that's the big issue, is that by trying to force those neutral engagements early on, they just gifted the Netherlands more and more ult charge, more and more momentum in the fight, and they just never found an opportunity to get in. We know that they're a talented team, but if you misplay your ult economy, even in this kind of meta where a Doomfist can clutch or a Reaper can clutch, in this meta, ults are still incredibly important.
Yeah, and I think in every meta you will find that that is most likely the case as well. But the next map we're going to be heading to is Hollywood. And on an individual basis, you do see some unique strategies come out. Some Bastion defenses occasionally, every now and then. And
a lot of Mei being played as well in this tournament. You see
seems like
aggressive and defensive Mei compositions.
Netherlands had a bit of an edge when it came to the Mei mirror match on Nepal Village. So we'll see if Russia can pull up the bootstraps and get to work and potentially pull this back. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, the stakes that are on the line here. The Netherlands, if they win this, they move forwards. Likewise, the same for Russia right now. If Russia lose this next map, they are out of the Overwatch World Cup 2019. They will not be moving on
Yep.
to the final brackets that are going to be played out tomorrow on the Saturday, the final day of BlizzCon.
Both of these teams competing in Group B got an opportunity to face China, face Denmark, and face Canada. Both teams beat Canada and lost to China. They both actually lost to Denmark as well, but it was much closer. There's a clear middle of the pack here, with Denmark just edging it out. We casted that game where Denmark was playing against Russia.
Yes.
That was very close, honestly.
Very close.
It looked like at moments that Russia was going to be able to take it. But that heartbreaker loss sets them up for a situation here where they might not make that top 6.
Now, if you're wondering as well why it is taking a bit of time to get into the game, why this game took a little bit longer to get started, is because these teams, obviously, there's so much on the line right now. They are using every single moment of time they have to try and discuss what went wrong in that. That's exactly what Russia's going to be talking about right now. Huddled together, received word a little bit earlier as well. Teams talking extensively about strategies. This is such an important match for all of them.
Yeah, they've been taking their time, not paying too much attention to what's going on around them. For them, their world is this match. They don't have to worry about what the bracket looks like afterwards. They don't care who wins between USA and South Korea. They're just worried on beating the Netherlands. And the Netherlands, likewise, what a run that would be for them. To come out of preliminaries, be a team that nobody had making the top 6.
Nope, nobody.
No, very few people were even talking about them as a dark horse to make the top 6.
They
maybe
slipped
make
by
the top
unnoticed.
12,
They
but
slipped
not
by unnoticed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Across the board. This is a team that has come up and surprised everyone. Now, Russia, the highest standings they've reached in a World Cup has been, I believe, the silver medal back in 2016.
Yes, I think
And
that was
they
the case.
are going to be looking to reach those heights again, hopefully this year. This match is the first hurdle for that. Any minute now.
Yeah, Team Russia have a few players that have played at that kind of level before. In 2016, we've seen the team achieve a lot of success, but the 2016 World Cup was unlike a lot of the other World Cups where we had influencers playing at the same time as well.
Yeah,
very different
Stylosa
format.
was on Team UK.
Well, that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, actually, was Stylosa on Team UK?
Yeah, I think he was.
It may have been, yeah.
I think so, yeah. We didn't do that well.
It's a long time ago, honestly.
Surprising.
2016 was.
It was an incredibly long time ago. That was the BlizzCon at which the Overwatch League was announced as well, I believe.
No,
Wasn't it?
absolutely not. Overwatch League was. Oh, the Overwatch
You
League
sure?
announced. I've
Yeah.
already said Overwatch announced. I
How
just-
could Overwatch be announced
which
at
is,
the World
Which is
Cup?
why I shut you down immediately. I was like, no, you're a fool.
Where is Matt Morello? Get Mr. X in here
Who's
with me.
casting another game? He can't replace me. Not this
Really?
time. Not this time. The Overwatch League was announced then?
Yes, I believe so, at the 2016 World
I
Cup.
mean, who knows?
And Miro got an invitation to the Combine.
Oh, yes.
Well,
The
That's,
NFL Combine?
the Overwatch League
The
Combine.
NBA Combine?
Yeah, the Overwatch League
the
Combine.
Overwatch League Combine. Yes,
Don't know what that is still, but
Have you had an opportunity
We'll
to play Overwatch 2 yet?
I haven't actually. I've been casting all day alongside you, which you know because you've been stood alongside me. So was that for the benefit of the audience?
Just trying to create conversation, really.
Okay, well, you're
we're
very
waiting
good
for
at
this
it,
match.
Brennan. You're very good at it.
Thanks.
Oh, I've been enjoying taking a sneak glance whenever I have been able to at the
Yeah.
stuff that's been going on. The most important thing for me, really, because I'm stuck in my little world of the Overwatch League, is trying to figure out what this push game mode is, the push format.
Yeah.
It looks like a battle over one payload. I thought it might be something like 5CP that we used to see in other titles, but it seems like some kind of payload back and forth where you're trying to push it one way and then the other. I think that's going to be very interesting because Jeff Kaplan said that it is going to be featured in the Overwatch League, which probably means it's also going to be featured in the World Cup next year or whenever the game comes out. I actually don't know the release date.
No. Yeah, neither do I. But
Have they announced?
I
don't know.
don't believe so, no. We'll get back to you on that one. But in the meantime, I'm pleased to say that I have no new information on whether or not this next map is starting.
Wait there? No, I also haven't. No new information.
No new information here.
No,
either.
nobody's talking to us.
None from you?
No, none from me. None from me.
Hold on. The players are ready.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh!
Oh, we're in the game. Oh, wow.
Brennan
there you go.
Hook, he knows it all.
Sorry, yeah.
He's the Oracle, he's telepathic, he
Just received words.
communes with the beasts.
Yep, just received words. I read it in the tea leaves. That cup you keep seeing on my desk
Tea.
predicted the future.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's get back into it then.
Yes.
This is Hollywood, and
Very
this,
important match.
just to reset you guys, This is do or die for the Russian Federation. Team Russia must win this map, or at least draw it.
It's everything right now on the line for Russia's hopes and dreams, whether or not they move forward, whether or not they can achieve the same heights as they have previously, or potentially even new heights. The Netherlands, on the other hand, an underdog team, a dark horse that nobody considered, even in the rankings, are here to upset absolutely everyone in their path. Now, we'll see as Russia work their way through the choke point. Bit of spam damage for the time being, and it's gonna be the Mei being ran by Shadowburn, looking to try and catch players off guard a little bit. The Netherlands opting for a Doomfist Reaper comp.
A lot of pressure here on Facility. He is the difference maker. Got to be able to find picks before they get walled off.
Instant engage happening now from both of these sides, and in the upcoming brawl, it seems like Russia may be coming out on top. As I say that, Facility does manage to get the kill there onto main, which means no more heals, and a second one as well. Another rocket punch, another kill. Tonic falling, no more shields, and the Netherlands are going to be able to hold.
Facility was the difference maker there. He was able to find a clutch pick onto the Moira, hits him with the rocket punch and knocks him against the wall, and then did so much damage to Tonic. Facility has to come out strong though, because generally speaking, if Facility doesn't find individual picks, if all he does is contribute damage, it's still going to be so hard for them to beat Team Russia, who can isolate off targets and finish them off. Nice Mei roll, blocks line of sight.
Yeah, and it also blocks the Coalescence a little bit, lowers their impact, and now the Netherlands on the back foot a little bit here, but they managed to get a critical kill there onto Tonic. You're going to see the Coalescence of Russia coming out. This should allow them to push forward a little bit, but as it fades, that is the cue for the Netherlands to push forward, and Jonah is able to once again come up with the goods. 2 kills, 3 kills for him. We're learning to count again, chat.
Jonah was able to find a pick there onto Tonic really early on in the fight. And that's the amount of pressure that Netherlands are putting on. They popped that supercharger very early, and you had a supercharged Coalescence that does a lot of damage and a lot of healing.
Yeah.
Russia replied back with their own. They do have a Blizzard. Blizzard is so powerful, but Facility's hiding up top, waiting to get picks.
We'll see if he's able to get one. Charge up the rocket punch, doesn't get anything. Dan has to back off a little bit, and you see the Sandbar coming out. That was an answer to Brewson's own gravitic flux, and there we have it. The kills rolling in, another punch from Facility. And my word, complete and utter domination of the ranks of Russia right now. Russia have a minute 30 left on their attack. The Netherlands in a very comfortable position. However, the ultimate's online for Russia now. We see the Death Blossom, we see the Blizzard. Blizzard very good at setting up these team fights, but more importantly, the Coalescence and the Supercharger.
Is this Tonic's first supercharger? And he's still only at 86%? The man has just been bullied and brutalized. Jonah looking for a flank again.
On the flank, they spotted him. The Hyperspheres are going to recognize that he is there. They would have received indication.
He gets the call to his team that they're moving around the left-hand side.
And now we see the big rotations coming about the Blizzard, as well as the Coalescence. A lot of kills rolling in, and this is what Russia needed to stay in the game. 3 ultimates committed, but at least they managed to wipe the Team Netherlands. And at least they're going to be able to cap this first initial checkpoint.
Yeah, they really took it down to the wire there. Only 40 seconds left for Russia to be able to find the point. But the Blizzard and the Death Blossom find their targets, and Facility was not able to find a pick when it mattered. But that's fine. Russia still just have this ult to be able to push forward with, and then Leia moves over to the Bastion. So they're going to run a Bastion Mei composition. I like this, but on Hollywood, if you hold on top of the houses on defense, you can still get a good contest onto the card.
Well, they're going to try it. Whilst the Netherlands are distracted, the Supercharger goes down, but there's no shields. There's nothing to really stop it. The flank attempt by the Netherlands at the same time. They need to try and dethrone Leia. Unable to do so, which means that the ground war is won by Russia. Russia continue to push this cart forward. This is what they needed. Now, they did expend the Supercharger, trading it with the Netherlands, equally using their ults up, but they're now in a position to try and push us forward with the Bastion composition.
And I like this swap from the Netherlands. They move over onto the Mei, which will allow them to drop onto the Bastion a little more fairly. They can boost him up so that he's out of the shields. They can freeze him. They can just play with the ice block on the floor, and they turn up the tempo really fast.
Already, speed boost coming in right away. The Mei going to be trying to block them off the fortify. Going to be used by Tonic. And look at this, the Death Blossom by Jonah. Trying to create some options. The freeze happening.
The
peel!
The
kinetic grasp. Great peel coming out from Russia now. Chow coming out clutch once more.
Shadowburn frozen again, though, and Facility manages to find that pick. The Netherlands have an advantage here, and they've managed to take down the Bastion. Facility again with the finishing blow.
And Netherlands are in a good position to try and really stop the bleeding. Creation going to be missing here from Brusen. In fact, he loses the 1v1 for the Sigma. Meanwhile, there's another battle going on in the backline. Tonic, though, deleted off the map. Jonah able to clean up these players. And the Holt forwards might be able to get a couple of stagger kills.
Just over a minute left on the board here for Russia, and this is ambitious to try and get the Bastion back on the card. And Leia may have to move over to Reaper.
1 minute, 10 seconds remaining. Blizzard at their disposal. And now the Holt comes in. That's going to force out the Gravitic Flux. See the ultimate's being ran down, but there's no real follow-up for it. Russia, though, very, very low. Coalescence traded by both these teams, trying to keep their players up. Tonic is coming up with the goods. Death Blossoms by Jonah as he tries to nail this one out for his team. Falling very, very low. Now we see the Kinetic Grasp and the Supercharger into the Holt is enough damage and control for them to actually win this one out. And it seems like the cooldown usage, the ult usage by the Netherlands, it is on a different level right now than what Russia is used to.
Yeah, I think Russia have been relying on Shadowburn to clutch a lot of fights previously in this tournament, and we really haven't seen that much impact from him. To be fair, he hasn't been playing the heroes that he can have a huge impact on, but now he's switched back over to the Doomfist.
Another great
immediately
Holt.
Finds a pick on Brusen.
Holt into the uppercut. Brusen falls, but that's going to force out a sound barrier by the Netherlands. Looking to try and contest this. No casualties just yet. In fact, Dan is going to bring down Tonic. Losing the Orisa. Great pick right now for the Netherlands.
How do they even contest?
What more they can do to contest. You can actually see now.
Hello.
Enger's in the back lines. They don't actually realize whatsoever. He's just spamming them, but Netherlands are perfectly happy to give up a little bit of space here if they can win the forward battle. Still, the Gravitic Flux using the backline. Facility is absolutely demolishing them. Jonah using the Death Blossom to try and keep them away from the cart. He does just that. Enough damage that Brusen picks up 2 kills. Now trying for a little clutch there by Enlayer, but it's not going to be good enough, and the Netherlands are going to get a hold in the streets phase here of Hollywood. Russia, with their backs against the wall, their tournament lifeline here, almost reaching an end.
Russia need to be able to put up a better defense than the Netherlands did if they want to continue in this tournament. This is a win or go home situation for both the Netherlands and Russia. And so far, the tank line of Dans and Brusen are the 2 players I've got to point to as outplaying their opponents just phenomenally. The way in which they rotate in order to get space, and Brusen playing aggressive while Dans is weak with that Kinetic Grasp, and then the Holt's coming out from Dans. They are putting on a much better performance than their counterparts on Team Russia, who seem to be relying on Shadowburn to just come up with miracle wins.
And I've said this previously, but this is what separates the truly great teams from elite teams, is how well you're able to coordinate a lot of the micro abilities, you know, the holds coming together with the punches. Comboing those small abilities can lead into kills. It can snowball you into victories themselves. And Russia, as you said, they're relying a lot on Shadowburn as an individual, Enlay as an individual, coming up clutch as the damage dealers, but it takes a little bit more than that when you're playing at this level, and the Netherlands seem to have it in spades.
Russia are going to go with this Bastion Mei composition, though, to defend point A, and I like it. You can have whenever you have a Mei playing alongside the Bastion instead of the Pharah, it's your Mei, Shadowburn in this situation, who's going to be playing the point because they have the Ice Wall, they have the Ice Block to be able to stay a little bit as their own solo hero on the point and keep that point contested. Instead, normally when you have the Pharah, it's your Orisa that has to go down there, and if you lose your Orisa, it's game over. So Shadowburn is the key here. If Netherlands can poke him down and find an early pick, then the entirety of this Russian defense collapses.
Now Brusen just taking an off angle, seeing what they're running, and now the full switch around here for the Netherlands. I say full, it's partial. They run out the Pharah, the Hanzo, the Zenyatta. This is their opportunity now. They want to try and spam from angles, try and take the fight, but the high ground now being approached by Russia. A lot of them holding here into the low ground, and the Netherlands are going to try and search for opportunities. The damage is being pumped into them, forces out the Immortality Field.
So early on, that Immortality Field, and then Leia falls already. So much damage coming into him. Facility around the back.
That's his opportunity to try and sweep around the back, see if he can hunt for another kill. Now the Resurrect is burnt now for Russia. They bring Enlayer back up. They mean the Bastion is still in the fight. The Matrix now, this is a win condition for Russia. The Netherlands are working their way around it, trying to play these angles, and here comes the barrage! Comes up huge, 4 kills, and he's cracked it open like a runny egg. You like that one, didn't you? It tickled you.
I did.
Yeah.
Russia moving over now to a totally different composition. It is just chaos within the Russian camp because they know that they have to defend right at the beginning of point B. They must give up less than 61.12 meters. Otherwise, they are out of the Overwatch World Cup 2019. Jonah still staying on that Hanzo, now makes the swap over to Reaper. They are going with a meta composition. Russia are not. And Leia over on this Widowmaker. It's not really an ice pick kind of setup that we've seen in stage 4. But then Leia's got to find targets.
Staggers them out for a short while. Netherlands, they may be just one team fight away from continuing into the next round of games tomorrow.
Tonic dies!
They're so close to defeat. This might just be their tournament life. In the gutter, still taking a fight forwards. The Netherlands are finding the picks. Facility in the back with 2. The Netherlands are looking elite. They're looking primed to take this match away from Russia. And as they roll the cart in to the final checkpoint, that will be the Netherlands winning this set and knocking Russia out of the Overwatch World Cup 2019.
What an incredible performance from Netherlands, a team that nobody was particularly expecting to go far here. A dark horse pick perhaps for some, but only really to make the top 12, not to make top 6. The Netherlands are here to play, putting players on the map as well. Brussen continues to deliver elite performances on that Sigma.
This is what the World Cup was made for, it feels like. To get these unknown talents, these unknown players. I mean, some of these players on the Netherlands have been playing the game, actually, Overwatch, for years, since its release, essentially. Playing on Team Netherlands, but now this squad has come together and it's been formed. And like you said, star players in the form of Brussen are coming out, they're shining, and these are players that you might potentially see in the Overwatch League next year.
Yeah, Facility as well, continuing to prove that he really is a star caliber player.
Yes.
He's been a player that's been coming up on the rise for the last year, maybe even a little more, but he has now got to the point where he can carry a team like the Netherlands when it matters. Some of these key fights like that last one, getting 4 picks, being in the right place at the right time, very intelligent use both on the Pharah and then swapping over to the Doomfist. Crispy play from the Netherlands. It'll still be hard for them in the bracket, but they've made it this far.
Yeah. With that being said, it is indeed the end of the line for Russia's World Cup of 2019, at least, as we begin to head into the next game. As you can see, here are the fellows.
I got baited by the music.
You were very, very quick on the trigger.
Quick on the trigger. Do you want to see your face again?
No, I'm going to take a seat. I'm going to take a seat, and we're going to look at these young lads.
Wonderful gamers. Mean mugging us.
Yeah, and Russia, they come off the back of this with a defeat.
Yeah, a heartbreaking, very close loss to Denmark, and now a loss to the Netherlands, which is, honestly, I think they've just been outplayed. I wouldn't even say that this has been that close.
On other streams, now mute the stream if you do not want any spoilers whatsoever, but it seems like United States have beaten South Korea in their set. It's a 2-0.
Yeah.
Meaning that the United States are well on their way to almost a complete clean sweep of the group that they're in.
And they would be the only team to make a clean sweep of the group. China went 11-1, dropped 1 map. I'm not actually sure who that was to, but they failed to complete the clean sweep of what I would say is a much easier group.
Yeah.
Whereas the United States, 3-0 on France, who beat South Korea. And 2-0 at the moment over South Korea, with looking towards a 3-0.
Looks like it's the United States that was promised, all these years.
Sure.
The talent that's been available on this roster, it's been there, but now it's matured. It's prospered a little bit,
and you look though at the actual matches that the United States have had, and Team USA have been close to losing a bunch of maps. You only have to think back to that UK-USA game.
Yes.
And both of those maps, both the Control and then on Eichenwald, could have very easily gone the way of the United Kingdom. They were incredibly close. So this isn't a dominant super team that can't be stopped. This is a United States roster that's finally living up to their potential, but still has some work to go in the playoff bracket tomorrow.
Yeah, they absolutely do. Not a perfect showing. Well, actually, I suppose it might be a perfect showing.
It still could be.
Close to...
Perfect showing in terms of maps.
In terms of maps, but in terms of the gameplay...
Squeaky bum time at times.
Yes, things to improve upon. Classic phrase, actually.
Sure, but that's always to be expected with the World Cup.
And
limited amount of practice.
Yes, and
team coordination.
I really do think it showcases as well the caliber of some of these teams, given that these matches were so very close. Now, the UK, admittedly, going to be quite disappointed with their performance.
Very disappointed, I would
this
imagine.
World Cup. But the fact that they had such close games initially against South Korea in map 1, against USA as well in the first 2 maps,
Sure.
they are going to be kicking themselves. There's going to be a lot of teams in that position also kicking themselves. But I'll tell you who's not going to be kicking themselves thus far, Netherlands.
No.
They will be moving on to the next round of brackets, the next round of games, occurring tomorrow, the final day of BlizzCon on the Saturday.
I don't actually know how the bracket's going to shape out, but presumably as... Well, actually, we don't know whether they're going to be the lowest seed or not.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
They still could rank higher than Denmark. They might end
Yes.
up being the second seeded team out of Group B. It depends what Denmark are able to do against China, a game that's still going on at the moment, I believe. I think that's Mr. X, Mr. X, I mean, there's Mr. X if you live in France.
Mr. Iggs.
X.
X.
X, I believe, is how the French say the letter X.
X.
Yeah, Monsieur
Yes.
X.
Ah, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Ah, je m'appelle Bernard.
Ah, oui.
Ah, yeah, oui, oui. Yeah.
Now, chat, I know you may have been fooled, but you have not tuned into the French broadcast. This is still Brennan Sideshow,
Je jouais
right?
un Overwatch.
Nope, that doesn't make sense. You said, I play an Overwatch, I think?
I do play a Overwatch.
Sure, I think you also just used the wrong use of the verb, but I'm not here to correct your grammar.
Thank you. Yeah.
I am here to tell you what an amuse-bouche is, but that's not
You
even
want to
really
talk about
French.
cutlery?
Why?
I mean, the game hasn't started.
Right, but why is cutlery your
gonna put this on
conversation
camera,
of
is that
choice?
okay?
Sure, yeah. What you got to tell me about cutlery?
Not much, actually. I meant to say culinary and said cutlery instead.
Ooh,
Oh,
I have to work with this human.
no. We are so low down because you adjusted the camera so
Oh yeah,
high.
yeah. And now we're like
We
little,
look tiny.
like little
So
toddler
small.
dwarfs,
Yeah.
like Torbjorn's offspring. Torbjorn's many offspring. The Team UK eliminated. This is basically just a flag of teams that USA have beaten.
Yep. At this point, it is. It's got the South Korean flag just.
Yeah, we need to put the
Yeah,
France
top.
and Sweden on there as well. I'm going to stand up because I look very short. And now-
You wanna recreate the meme? I don't know why that tickles me. It shouldn't really. It's not that funny, but it does.
well, I didn't think it was that funny either, but you wanted to do it, so I rolled with
I
it.
liked it.
Sure.
I enjoyed it. I'm gonna be
Sure.
real with you.
What do you-
Da, da, da. Yep.
What do you
Go on,
think?
I was just singing.
What do you think the Netherlands have to look out for when they get into the bracket? They're going to be paired up against teams from Group A. They're most likely to be paired up against teams like the United States or South Korea because they're probably going to be to the lower end of that. Do you think they have real upset potential against teams like the USA or South Korea? Or even France, who's in that group?
To a degree. And the reason I would say this is because nobody expected them to get this far in the first place.
Sure.
A lot of the teams we spoke to, I mean, Russia and the UK, expect them to be a dark horse candidate moving forward through the bracket. However, I feel so tiny,
You are so tiny.
insignificant.
Yeah, tell me your opinions.
Junkertown is the next map.
I got baited again. They
Yeah,
keep
you
playing the
did.
Dorado music, and I think that we've gone into the game,
Yeah,
and then
not quite.
and then nope,
No.
it's Junkertown, and we
But,
haven't.
but I
begun.
do think that there is some upset potential for the Netherlands moving forward.
Oh, here we go.
Because a lot of teams are not going to have a lot of game tape on them. They aren't going to be putting them under a magnifying glass.
No, I don't think so.
And I feel like they're going to be focusing on much bigger targets, like your China, South Korea,
For sure.
or America. Even France. They have a potential here to slip under the radar. And a big part of it as well is the fact that these teams do not have that much time to prepare for these games. It is a one-day turnaround before the games actually begin. And the Netherlands, they now know they've made it. Their coaching staff can begin to prepare for whatever eventualities may begin. And as we roll this one out, it is a game of pride now for Russia. Taking a map off the board would mean that the Netherlands would potentially get the lowest seed
Yeah, that's true.
tomorrow.
There still is something to play for the Netherlands. They don't know at the moment how the China-Denmark game is going.
Yes,
Because they've
they
been
do
stuck
not,
in this
yeah.
little bubble. So as far as they're concerned, they need as many maps as possible. Facility misses that punch, mistimes it, as Enleia comes out of his shadow form.
He tried to go there for the punch, yeah, of course, onto Enleia on the Reaper, but he does end up collecting the kill onto Eng anyway. Facility with another punch, the ice ball just in time from Shadowburn. Keeps him alive, great uppercut onto 3 of the targets. Now Russia falling very, very low, have to start backing up. Chunked down in terms of their HP, and Netherlands are going to be able to just roll over them like a sweeping wave of destruction. And the car begins to slowly make its ascent into Junkertown. That's what it's known as. That's what the map's called, Josh. Junkertown.
Thank you, Bren. I love it when you hit me with these little snippets of knowledge.
The lore.
Shadowburn's going over to the Doomfist here, so they want to just match them. Mirror Comp versus Mirror Comp.
Oh, John.
I want to see something flashy.
Okay.
Spectacular. Inspiring.
It's going to go through him. Spectacular, inspiring gameplay. Well, have I got news for you, because the Coalescence is unleashed thus far. Seismic Slam now for Facility, but Enlayer says no. Straight back to spawn with you. Je ne sais pas.
What, do you know what that means?
Je ne sais pas.
I can't tell whether you know what it means and you are making a witty joke, or you are just repeating the phrase because you have 3 brain cells. I can't tell.
Je ne sais pas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, it means I don't know. Yeah.
Je ne sais pas.
Thank you, Brent. Keep repeating it.
Well, next team fight kicks off here. Enlayer going to try and defend himself away, but the meteor strike now coming out of Facilities. He's looking to try and create some opportunities for his team. The punches are there. Enlayer down to 50 HP is going to be healing up from the lifesteal. The Hellfires. I was about to say, you're not trapped in here with you. No, I butchered the quote. Watchmen is on the mind, but unfortunately I could not deliver it.
I love
Russia are looking not too bad as of now. Like we said, still a lot of pride on the line. Have you been watching Watchmen recently?
No, I haven't. I absolutely haven't. But I do remember the quote. I mean, the quote was from the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the quote was probably from the comics
series,
as well.
Right, yeah. I actually don't know. I've never read the comics. I'm not a big fan of words, but
Really? That
you wouldn't be able to tell through my
I think
mastery of the English language.
comic books are probably the exact format for you.
Yes. Bruce
Xiao getting absolutely wrecked here in the Sigma 1v1. Brucean is just so much better supported by the rest of his team. Works with Facility, works with Dance, separates out Xiao, takes him out.
Now the Netherlands was getting a bit hairy, a little bit dicey for them. They've got a minute now on the clock. And I don't believe Russia are going to be in a position to try and defend this here. They should be able to cap this. However, I have been wrong in the past.
No, you
Unusual.
wrong?
The Holt, I think, might yoink them back. Yep, so they're not going to be able to get the opportunity to contest.
I don't think they were going for the contest anyway, but
I mean, they are pushed up very close.
they are, yes, but I think they're attempting to take the fight underneath. What we've seen the kind of meta develop in the World Cup is that you fight right here when the cart starts to enter here, and then you try and chase kills all the way back into spawn. So I'm expecting Russia to drop at any moment.
Gruesome, Gravitic Flux available.
Here comes the
Here's
drop.
the accretion into the back line. Shadowburn is going to combo up that meteor strike with the Holt. Tonic coming up huge. And it's going to be 3 kills for Shadowburn. Team kill. Russia able to defend just after checkpoint A. And Russia still have a sound barrier to try and negate this Gravitic Flux that's about to be coming up from Bruce.
Yeah, they can try and initiate with a Coalescence if they would like to. I would advise playing aggressive, but instead they play with the Flux. Try and get it up. Crusade doesn't have his ult.
I like this play. They are so weak, and Enlayer is there to clean up the remnants. A multitude of kills, a team wipe. Beautiful stuff. Meanwhile, on the other stage, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the United States were able to complete the clean sweep against South Korea, making them so far undefeated in their bracket, in their group. Just keeping you up to date live. You know.
Which does mean that the... Oh, hello.
Never mind about that, Josh. The team fight's kicking off now. The sound barrier by Russia will negate a lot of the work being done by the Netherlands, but it does not matter because the Coalescence is there to pick up the slack. Trustbeer with the opening pick allows the Netherlands to push forward. They have the positioning advantage, of course, and Facilities is absolutely destroying them there on the Doomfist.
And what I wanted to say was, the fact that the United States have managed to go completely undefeated puts them at the #1 seed. That means that the Netherlands want to do everything they can to avoid playing the United States of America. Team USA is the opponent they want to dodge. Now, in order to do that, they have to overtake Denmark in the standings, which comes down to map differential, assuming that Denmark haven't beat China, which I don't know because I haven't been able to watch that game. So Netherlands still have stuff to play for here in this match.
Facility straight in. The Holt is perfect. Dan, once again, silent carry. Facility sends it straight down, and Russia are absolutely exploded into little bits of
Goo.
bobs and goo and
Yeah.
chunks and
Little Australian goo.
things
Maybe
like
like
that.
tar. Maybe they
Australian goo.
they probably turn
Isn't
all
that
of
oil?
the Australian goo. Isn't that oil? Is Australia a big oil?
I believe
country?
they have. Oh, they're a big coal country. I do know that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Do you come from coal mining stock in Australia?
Well, I definitely don't come from a land down under.
2 minutes left for the Netherlands.
Russia.
They're looking to get into it. They're going to have a supercharger alongside this Death Blossom. So if Jonah can find a good opportunity to go in, this is going to do mega damage.
Chow has a fantastic opportunity to use the Gravitic Flux as well. We'll see what he opts to do. The initiation was caught there. The Netherlands actually taking Russia by surprise. Chow going down means they have no opportunities now to win this team fight out. That was a fantastic team fight to win for the Netherlands. It gives Crusade ample opportunity now to build up a sound barrier to try and respond for this final team fight coming up.
And they can spread out as well. They can take the high ground. They can flank, push wings out to the left and right.
They might not get an opportunity to, though. The fight is immediately being taken here. And the Netherlands, the pace of which they're playing the game right now is absurd. Russia can't quite keep up with it. The Gravitic Flux does not get the value they needed. Tonic falls. The accretion from Brusen is perfect. It nails Enlayer perfectly directly on his little wee noggin. And he's out of the fight. And it looks like the Netherlands are going to be able to get this full completion.
The
whether they
victory
like it or
sound
not.
barrier from Crusade.
Yep.
The Netherlands are just going to roll it in after taking down Tonic.
Beautiful.
34 seconds still on the clock. That is a great time on Junkertown. The Netherlands storming through. And like you said, Brent, really utilizing that momentum on the attack to be able to disrupt ult economy from Russia. They push in, they stop Chow from getting any benefits from his Gravitic Flux. Keep rolling. Crusade gets his ult towards the end, but really it's the aggression that stops the Flux getting any value.
Just want to point out that Golden Boy thought necessary to comment on my analogy I was using to describe how the defense was cracked open, describing it as a runny egg. He's criticizing it. All I'm saying is, Golden Boy, listen, there's a spare headset. Jump up, lad. Step to the mic.
Well,
you can.
He hasn't cast since he was a teenager.
Your knees don't work.
Yeah, he's in his 60s now.
You won't be able to. Your voice, broken.
We call him a boomer. That's not even a joke. He's literally a baby boomer. He's that old.
He has stocks in oil companies. That's how old he is.
Coal, I've heard.
Coal companies.
Yeah, he's actually got a lot of stocks in Australia.
I hear.
Big coal country.
Yes, yeah.
So I hear.
He helped with the war effort back in 1941.
Good Lord, I thought you were about to get the date wrong.
No, not me. History is actually my strongest suit.
Wow. I mean, grasping at straws is the phrase that comes to mind.
Yeah,
Seeking
yeah.
strengths in strange scenarios. Well, Russia look like they're going to try an attack with a Bastion just to clear everybody out. They've got to be expecting May Reaper, though, and the Netherlands are going to be holding super close. You want to play hyper-aggressive with the May Reaper compositions.
That's what I'm going to do here. Enlayer sets up on the high ground.
How
damage
does
being pumped
Tri-Spear
in.
die already?
Tri-Spear caught out of position there by Shadowburn. Shadowburn catching a lot of the Netherlands off guard. I mean, that is a great pick. Exactly what they were looking for. Now you see Shadowburn as well, just poking, prodding. Almost with a concussion blast. Again, the Fortify has been a little bit late, just a touch, by some of these Orissas over the course of this tournament.
The Netherlands eventually will fall and Russia continue their advance with this Bastion, which is now going to deploy on the payload. Or maybe not, and Leia's going forwards. It is always generally better to push your Bastion forwards of the payload, but Junkertown is so open that you can get away with just running the pirate ship variation. There aren't really that many high grounds ahead of where the payload would come, but Crusade gets picked off anyway.
Yes, Crusade getting picked off is a huge one for Russia right now. Netherlands no longer have access to the speed boost to try and zip in and out of cover.
But what they have done is block the point here.
Yes, but does it really matter when you're just getting mowed down?
Taking time off the clock, even though Brusen dies, they are really struggling to clear people out of this house.
Shadowburn forced to use the barrage now to try and clean some of them out. He does get the singular kill, but look at the assist. Had to get help from almost every single member of his team to try and do so. And still the Netherlands buying time. Crucial time at that. Card has not really moved from that point. Now the question is, oh wow, okay. Rock from downtown.
from down under.
Will the Netherlands be able to get another defense here? Do they want to even opt into this?
You certainly can. The reason that you defend in that hut is so that you can get a third contest before the payload gets there. Now, who's going to be the player to drop? Facility could with his ice block.
Players
Are they really not going to contest?
Well,
no, they just allowed checkpoint A to go.
Interesting. Okay. Well, do Russia now have 4 minutes and 30 seconds to work with? That's a lot of time. In 4 minutes 30 seconds, you can actually do quite a lot.
You can
read,
cook, read a magazine.
Yes, you can read a magazine. Did you say you could cook?
Yeah, you can cook a small meal in
You
4 minutes and 30
could,
seconds.
Yes, yeah.
You could...
and in some cases, even cap Junkertown, as they're going to try and do here. Enlayer with the Immortality Field is still alive, has the tank form, is laying in the shots, doesn't find the targets he wants, but quick little burst down from the default form of Bastion will be enough. Shadowburn, quick flick of the wrist, will find another kill as well onto Tri-Spear.
Now, you don't often see the Pharah being used in these close quarters areas on Junkertown Point B, but once you're actually in, it's hard to displace you. He's got a lot of low ground that he can shoot down into.
Sure. I have a more important question though, Josh.
Sure.
Is a Tri-Spear not just a trident?
I think so, yes. But they do come from the Netherlands, so maybe the Dutch call them Tri-Spears. Or maybe Tri-Spear is 3 spears strapped together. I mean, a trident is called a trident because it has 3 tings.
At what point does it become a rake? Well, I don't know the answer to that question. I don't think you do either. As a Gravitic Flux is going to come out from Russia here. Met with Crusade sound barriers that are still in the fight. Jonah finding a pick onto Tonic is massive. They're going to commit the Blizzard as well. Shadowburn just searching for a couple of exit frags. A couple of kills on the way out, which will allow his team to set up a way better push in the near future. He may make it out, 59 HP. He's been chased down, 22. Jonah gets the better of him. But Jonah may trade his life in return, and he does indeed. Tonic manages to catch him.
I think it becomes a rake when you have 5 tines.
5 times?
Yeah,
so
the
you're
tine.
saying 5.
So a tine is like the prong, right?
Yes.
A fork has 4, a trident has 3. I think a rake has 5 curly tines.
Well, as we really discuss the intricacies of guarding tools, Tonic,
what makes a hoe?
Finds the kill onto Dan, but it's evened out by Facilities with a punch. Chow as well, helping him out. Russia still in this one. 2 minutes on the clock. If they manage to clean up the remnants of these players, there's an opportunity for them to try and get an even better time than what the Netherlands have captured in their 3 points. They do manage it out. 3 minutes, 30 seconds. Now, in terms of the guarding tool known as the hoe, I actually don't know. It's used to turn up soil, correct? So that you can plant seeds and whatnot.
Yeah, hoes turn up.
Very, very true. And Netherlands going to be initiating with the sound barrier to try and push off this kind of attack coming in from Russia here. Russia, though, with their backs against the wall, often that's where you find teams get just that much more dangerous. The accretion will connect. Shadowburn able to clean up the remnants of these players. And the Netherlands are just kind of folding into 2 pieces. How many times can they be folded?
This is where Russia look their best, though. When Shadowburn is playing that Doomfist, he's had excellent performances against some of the weaker teams, and his excellent, enormous multi-kill plays are rarer, yes, against the good teams like the Netherlands, but when they come out, Russia just look unstoppable.
Now Facility has the Meteor Strike, ends up using it. I believe he wants to use it to try and engage. Enlayer's Wraithfall gets forced out as a result of it. Now we'll see if the Hulk can combo with Shadowburn. It does indeed, but the shield was there from Brusen, again, coming in clutch with these shields. And it's still anyone's game at this point.
But the Supercharger coming down from Tonic is going to output so much more damage. 2 minutes left, and the Netherlands are only going to get 1 more contest, really. Russia still have that sound barrier available. This is going to be dire for the Netherlands.
The Netherlands are split. They're going to kill onto Shadowburn.
This is
huge.
Could
turn things around. Dan falling. It's not ideal, but a Gravitic Flux will keep them off the cart. But the members of Russia, they are being uncontested right now. They need to deal with Facility, who's come in straight from the flank. Focus down into the backline. Meanwhile, now, the fight, the attention gets turned right to the front, and Russia look to be on the brink of getting a better time, and they do just that. 1 minute 57 compared to a singular minute for the Netherlands.
Netherlands still definitely have something to play for here. They can't take their foot off the gas pedal so much. Yes, it's fairly even going into the next round. 1 minute versus 2 minutes doesn't make that much difference on Junkertown. The map is broadly defined by what momentum you can accrue, rather than having lots of short-range back and forths. But still, they need that map differential. They have no idea what kind of result Denmark have put up against China.
They're looking to see.
Sorry, I do apologize. It's Denmark playing against Canada. Denmark have already beaten both Russia and the Netherlands. They lost to China already, and Denmark are playing against Canada.
Yep.
And I mean, we can currently see it on the screen that Denmark are 2-0 up against Canada. So it really does come down to this. Every map matters.
Absolutely boomed.
Wait, actually, no, it doesn't, because Denmark are now 3-1 in their group. I don't know. I'm trying to do mental math on the fly, Brent.
It's acceptable. Honestly,
I believe
nobody expects you to have all the answers.
Sure. I think some people do.
Why?
You know, because they believe I'm omniscient. They've seen the insights powered by Intel on the desk, and they believe that I should be able to predict that Denmark has just won on Junkertown against Canada. I mean, I can't do that.
What about the Coca-Cola victory moments, huh?
Dans with the Reinhardt. Here we go. A little bit of style from the Netherlands as they begin.
Swinging, and that's why Reinhardt has not played that much.
I mean, he actually nearly got a couple of picks, and Endlinger does fall.
Okay.
That was a nice sleep dart from Tri-Spear.
I think it was a cleaving strategy. I've been wanting to see teams experiment with Reinhardt being able to swing through the shields for quite some time.
Reinhardt Winston?
Yeah, I mean, it's an option for sure.
It's what Jonathan Reinforced Larson keeps preaching to us in ranked games. Lord knows it never works.
Yeah, it never works. I'll be real with you. But we see Russia playing right up against the spawn doors. Netherlands being pushed all the way back. No opportunity as of yet to try and push out. They haven't even really got a pick. So Russia holding all the cards.
Netherlands flank around the left-hand side. They've already caught Enlayer, forced out his Wraith form. That's going to allow them a bit of an advantage. They've touched the card, but Crusade is very weak.
Trow, Kinetic Grass does not stop. Fists gets sent flying straight into the wall, and the Netherlands are able to make it count when it matters.
Facility coming up with 3. So good in these final moments. His overtime win rate has got to be through the roof. Facility's getting 3 picks in that fight. On our previous map, he got 4 picks in the final fight as well. Carrying Netherlands on his back when it comes to these overtime situations, when they absolutely need the picks.
And now this is it. How far can the Netherlands push this cart? Overtime ticking. Russia going to be into it with a Davidic Flux. Super early on, the kills are happening and Russia are flooding onto the point. Overwhelming force. And with that being said, I mean, I don't want to count the Netherlands out here.
You don't want to count your chickens before they've hatched?
I don't want to count the chickens before they catch, but that is going to be very difficult.
Yeah. Hard to count chickens and put your eggs in basket when Netherlands are cracking them open like running eggs.
Like running eggs, exactly. And Golden Boy, I know you're listening. I hear you calling out my analogies.
Yeah, that metaphor's for you.
That was for you, all right? You got a problem with it? Put on the headset, old man, boomer.
Okay, Russia with 1 minute and 57 seconds. That is incredibly winnable for them. They've got to get the push underneath that second bridge. You can see where the payload needs to get to.
Achievable.
Very achievable.
Achievable with a full hold at the spawn doors if they're capable of it.
Well, the Netherlands are going to be going for this kind of spawn camping strat with their May Reaper. It didn't really work out before. Tri-Spear was picked very early on by Shadowburn as he came out of the right-hand side spawn door. Now, they've got to be aware of that.
If they manage to fix up their mistakes like they were occurring in the previous rounds, then the opportunity is there. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Netherlands have already won this set, which means they do move on to the next round of games, which is going to be occurring tomorrow, the final day of BlizzCon. The Netherlands have made it into our final 6 teams, a team that nobody really expected to make it into this position. Russia playing for pride right now, and to potentially upset the Netherlands, make sure that they don't really get better seeding overall. But we'll see now as Shadowburn rolling out on the Farah once again. His signature roll.
Hello, Crusade. What are you doing up there? Incredible. Gets the boop off the high ground as well.
I mean, that's what you want to see. Great play. High impact boops like that pushed them to the low ground, but Enlay is still able to come up with the kill onto Tri-Spear.
The Netherlands have been able to quash this initial push, but now they're split up all over the place. Facility still finds a pick on the Bastion, but Dan's surely going to die here. Hello, another rocket will do it.
There you go. And Shadowburn, this is what he was made for, it feels like, at the end of the day. He is so accurate with a lot of these rockets, long range. It doesn't matter if his opponents are on the ground, in the air. It's all free game for the Shadowburn.
Netherlands must try and block this now. The golden box of victory is right there. They're attempting to get Dance
close
onto it. It has been contested. We saw this May Reaper composition work very well at being able to block the cart from this hut, which is exactly what they're going for again, but this time no Orisa.
Dan falls almost immediately. Shadowburn getting the picks they need. No one is able to touch right now. Diva just to try and stall it out, but the barrage will seal the deal. And Russia do manage to take a map away from the Netherlands for the pride of their country. In the grand scheme of things, doesn't mean much, but I think they're going to be pleased with the way they ended that set out.
Definitely. I think the Russian Federation have a lot that they can look at over this World Cup series, and the fact that they did pretty well. But I think it's a bit of a heartbreaker to lose to Denmark, who, fair enough, Denmark are a team that a lot of people were looking at and saying that they would go far. But the Netherlands, that is a large upset. The Netherlands, nobody was expecting them to make top 6. A couple of people had them as their dark horse to make top 12 and enter this group stage, but they have come out swinging. Facility and Brusen in particular, in my opinion.
Outstanding performance overall. But with that being said, I believe that is our last cast of the day.
It certainly is. That is our last cast of the event, indeed.
Of the event as well, yes. You will see us on the desk returning tomorrow for the final set of matches that are to be played. Now, there are still games being played as well on various channels. You can find them in the Overwatch directory on Twitch.
I don't want you to look, though, because at the moment, the United Kingdom, they're just desperate to go to the hot tub. They're currently getting boomed by Sweden, of all people. So we're not going to watch that. We're going to go and do something else. Maybe try out Overwatch 2.
I'm actually going to look around the venue. This is going to be the first time I've had an opportunity to look around BlizzCon. But it has been an absolute pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed our rendition of some sort of cast live commentary on the mics. It's certainly been fun for me. Has it been fun for you?
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get to do it again sometime.
Hopefully, hopefully. But until then, we will catch you tomorrow on the desk with Golden Boy and Reinforced. The four heads returning.
The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch World Cup. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch World Cup.